meeting of the Connecticut State Elections Enforcement Commission is called to order. My name is Steve Penny, Chair of the Commission, and I'd like to welcome you to today's meeting. This meeting is being conducted virtually in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act, which authorizes public agencies to conduct meetings in this format. The meeting is being recorded for on-demand viewing and will be available for at least 45 days. Because of the virtual format of this meeting, there are some special rules and procedures that I need to cover before we begin. First, I ask all participants to mute your device when you are not speaking. Second, all speakers must make a good faith effort to state the speaker's name and title at the outset of each occasion that such speaker participates in the meeting. Third, all votes must be taken by roll call unless the vote is unanimous. With that said, I'll ask the other commissioners to introduce themselves at this time, please, as well as the interim executive director.
Commissioner Michael Agello.
Commissioner Shannon Berquist.
Greg Pietzu, Commissioner.
Commissioner Sonia Morella-Sari.
Claire Kindle, Interim Executive Director and General Counsel.
All right, for the record, we have a quorum of the commission present. Are there any changes to be made to the agenda? None appearing, we'll proceed to the first matter on the agenda, and the first item is approval of the minutes of the meeting of April 16, 2025. Are there any additions or corrections to be made to the minutes? None appearing, is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented? Anybody?
So moved, Commissioner Agello.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, Commissioner Sari.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing, those in favor of approving the minutes as presented will raise their hands and or say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? None appearing.
I'll abstain, Steve, because I was not at that meeting.
Thank you. So the vote is 4 in favor, none opposed, 1 abstention. That being our vice chair. Administrative reports, the interim executive director on administrative issues of all things.
Good morning. There's actually a fair bit to report since we last saw you. Feels like 3 weeks is a long time. You'll note in this meeting that we've added more things to the public session, and we intend to continue that practice up to the. I think there was a habit where most of the stuff was being handled in executive session first, and then in public session. In particular, we plan to, unless something's really controversial, we need advice of the commissioners. We plan to put audits into public session, as well as matters where you have already previously seen it, given staff direction, and now we're simply implementing what you had said and showing you what happened at the end. To the extent something is listed in public session that you wish to discuss first in executive session, you just need to indicate that at the beginning of the meeting. But otherwise, we think that we're aiming to have as much as possible in public session under the constraints of the confidentiality requirements of the agency and the rules of the Freedom of Information Commission. So with that, that's kind of a major change, but we wanted to sort of note it and let you know that it remains in your control about what happens in public session and versus executive session. These are our proposals of keeping things in public session. We are at the end of the month, the Tuesday after Memorial Day, celebrating our 50th anniversary as an agency, operations as an agency, and 20th anniversary for the Citizens Election Program. We're getting a very good response of people attending, and we really look forward to you guys attending to it. Our staff has been working very hard on that and has really done a remarkable job. And so to the extent that there are folks you believe we should be inviting, feel free to invite them yourselves or let us know and we will certainly invite them. But we are, sooner than we think. We'll be coming up pretty quickly. We also are on April 24th. SEEK staff attended and presented at the annual Spring Town Clerks Conference in Danbury, and it was an opportunity to meet new clerks. And they gave a great presentation. And on the same day was our first all hands, all in day. We had shared a lunch, pizza lunch, and also did a training with IT on a brand new SharePoint thing. And we'll be doing those monthly. Our next all hands, not surprisingly, will be our 50-20 celebration at the end of the month. I included in your package both the somewhat delayed but promised recap of what had been presented at the April 9th in-person meeting, where we had sort of statistics on the operations of the agency. And at the last meeting, I had perhaps promised or warned you that I would be providing monthly reports about how we're doing. To the extent you have any feedback on the style of the reports or the information, please don't hesitate to call me or to, contact me in any way, and we will provide it in the format to which you wish. I am pleased to announce that the 2022 audits are just about done. We have a handful of ones that haven't gone out for draft, but by the time we meet again, all of the 22 audits will have gone out to draft. And they will be, those answers will be trickling back, and we will be presenting you with final audits. We are putting a, firm deadline on people's times to respond so that we can get these moving and they don't have indefinite deadlines. In the 2024 election, we are well on our way. We have only 46 committees left to file by the July 10th deadline. And all of the ones that are here are assigned and in the process. And you will note that there are, 4 on today's calendar, and we're going final on the ones that are sort of uncontroversial and we don't need more information. But things are really working that way. On enforcement, when I arrived here, I was told we had 264 open cases. We have obviously cut some of that down, but also there were 26 cases that had been closed, but not closed out of the system. There were some other technical problems of ghost ones and duplicate numbers and that kind of stuff. So we're fairly comfortable that the 222 that are reported in our report to you are correct. And we broke them out by categories, and we also broke out how many are filed before 2022, how many are 2022 cases, 2023 cases, 2024 cases. And, some of them are non-filers, which we're going to be coming to you in the next couple of sessions about setting up the non-filer hearing docket. We'll need one of you to serve as a hearing officer. And we're working through them. We're basically, we have 2 summer associates coming for the summer, 2 law students. And yesterday, Susan Miller, who is a retired attorney, who has agreed to come in and volunteer a couple of days a week to help us get through the backlog and set up some standards. She has over 40 years experience doing insurance defense work. And so came in yesterday and dove right in. So, which is terrific. So we're hoping that by the end of the summer, we'll have a good grasp of these cases and they'll have moved. On the compliance level, of the 720 committees required to file in April, only 15 hadn't filed, and we are pushing to get those 15 in. We are very happy to report that we have 100% compliance of the committees that had to terminate that were not selected for audit. If you're selected for audit, you have a different deadline. But 184 committees were not selected for audit, and they're all in, which is great. We also have already conducted a lottery to randomly select districts for the special elections, for the 3 special elections. However, in all 3 of them, we had 100% participation in the CEP. For future lotteries, we intend to hold them at the LOB. I've heard some feedback saying that, are these lotteries really random? We're just going to ask for one of the conference rooms at the LOB, and we're going to hold it there, and people can drop in and see how we do it. So I think that since the folks who are most impacted by the lottery are legislators, we should go to them and let them see how we do it. So it probably won't happen for a while, but the next time we do it, it will be not held here, it will be held there. And through the end of April, we have 2 exploratory committees registered, and they are both considering statewide office. And 4 candidate committees are registered, with 2 of those being for statewide office. 408 tickets were closed this month, with 313 being in the compliance team. And IT has been extremely busy. They've received replacement servers and are going to deploy them at Groton. They have resolved 37 support tickets. They're continuing their integration on eCris. And they deployed phase one of an intranet SharePoint document management system, which was they actually unveiled during our all hands all in day. And it was pretty impressive. And obviously we are now on YouTube. And other than some problems with my mic, I think we're doing pretty well on there. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And also if you have any questions or comments afterwards, please don't hesitate to contact me.
Are there any questions or comments for the executive director? Greg.
I just want to say thank you to the executive staff and to Claire for putting these memoranda together. This is critical not only for us as commissioners to have oversight of what's happening within the agency, but I also think within the agency staff itself, it's a helpful process to go through this. So I think it's a twofold benefit. This sort of thing had been sorely lacking, and I do see a level of professionalism that's coming to the executive directorship, which is very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and on behalf of the staff, thank you. They've been really terrific. The staff has been just awesome.
I join in the complimentary portion of Greg's remarks. I think I'm impressed with what we're seeing so far. So thank you. In order not to expose my technological inadequacy completely, though, Claire, would you send your report by email so that I can accumulate these as time goes by? Because my state tablet is not tied up to with a printer, so.
Not a problem. I'd be happy to do so.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard at this point? All right, none appearing. Trying to decide what order to do things in, because we could go into an executive session. We reserve that on the agenda. Maybe, however, we want to put that, we'll do it in tandem with the other executive session that we have at the end of the agenda, so that we're not dispossessing a bunch of people and then calling them back. Does that make sense? All right, so without objection, we will move item 4 to the end of the agenda. So we have we have public session matters at this time. First of which is file number 2024-098, and who are we calling on for that? Attorney Smith, I assume. Yes. Yep.
Good morning, commissioners. For the record, Attorney William Smith for the commission. The matter before you is the complaint by Christopher Wilson of New Canaan in file number 2024-098. In this instance, 2 candidate committees, one of which was participating in the citizens election program prior to the November 2024 election, had a joint canvassing day where they went and knocked on doors and canvassed. And the complaint alleged that because one of the candidate committees participated in the citizens election program and had disclosed making expenditures for food for the interns. There were a couple of high school student interns that canvassed with the 2 candidates for office, that the subsidy of having food for the interns by the citizens election program participant violated that program because the non-participating candidate was also supported by those interns. This matter is before you as a dismissal. After investigation, the idea that the purpose of a candidate committee or even the lawful purposes of committee was violated was not supported. And this agreement points out that this commission is not going to substitute its political decision-making for those of 2 candidates where there are not otherwise violations of program requirements. So at this time, I'm asking that this matter be dismissed.
All right, any questions or comments for Attorney Smith? All right, the only thing I would point out is in paragraph 14, first line, the word judgment is spelled consistent with your English heritage, Will, but doesn't fly in the United States. So if you could just doctor that up, that would be great. All right, is there a motion to, and we'll rely on the two movements we had earlier. Is there a motion to accept the recommendation of council and dismiss the complaint in this matter?
So moved, Commissioner Jello.
Second, Commissioner Sari.
Seconded. Any discussion? None appearing, those in favor of dismissing the complaint in the matter will raise their hands and or say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing, the motion carries with 5 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. Next item on the agenda, file number 2024-088. Attorney Smith, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Attorney William Smith for the Commission. Before you is a matter of a complaint by Chris Anderson of New Britain in file number 2024-008. Before you is the findings and conclusions dismissing this matter. The allegations were that the New Britain Republican Town Committee violated campaign finance laws by soliciting on behalf of 4 candidates for the November 5th, 2024 election, and that such solicitation by the town committee had violated citizen election program requirements. After a fact-based investigation, it was determined that the timing of these solicitations on Facebook by the New Britain Republican Town Committee was such that the candidates had not yet filed an intent to abide by the Citizens Election Program, and that is a trigger for various rules of that program, and therefore factually there wasn't an instance where the town committee had made these solicitations in support of a participating candidate, and therefore I'm asking that this matter be dismissed.
All right, any questions or comments for council? None appearing, is there a motion to accept the recommendation of council and dismiss the complaint in the matter?
So moved, Commissioner Jello.
It's moved and
Sorry,
seconded.
second, Commissioner Sari.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing, those in favor of the dismissal will raise their hands and or say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing, the motion carries with 5 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. Next item on the agenda is file number 2023-079B. Attorney Smith.
Thank you. This matter, for the record, Attorney William Smith, this matter before you was based on an audit referral from the Commission's audit unit. In the course of investigating this matter, the Commission received notice that the candidate in this instance, Mary Doherty Abrams, had passed away. And based on that circumstance, I'm asking that the Commission administratively close this matter in file number 2023-079B by publishing that reason through a notice of case closure.
Okay. Any questions or comments for council? None appearing, is there a motion to accept the recommendation of council in these circumstances and close the case on the basis of the death of the respondent?
So moved, Commissioner Jello.
Second, Commissioner Sari.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing, those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing, the motion carries, and the vote is 5 in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. Item 4 on the agenda is file number 2024-022. Attorney Ross.
Attorney Ross is out due to a death in the family, and so Zach Joliski is going to present it to the commission.
Okay.
Hey, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Attorney Zach Jeslicki for the Commission. This is file number 2024-022, and this is before you as a dismissal. The complaint alleged that Bridgeport Generation Now Votes, a 501c3, improperly coordinated with Bridgeport mayoral candidate John Gomes regarding expenditures supporting his candidacy in 2023 and 2024. Complaint alleges that on February 12th, 2024, Gomes met with respondents from the Bridgeport Generation Now group for a secret meeting in Gomes's car, which involved the two driving around the city and returning to Bridgeport Generation Now Votes headquarters. Complaint also alleges the respondents attended campaign fundraiser events and made expenditures in support of Gomes, and that the respondents donated money to his campaign. Pursuant to General Statutes 9-601C, an organized group may make independent expenditures in support of a candidate, but is prohibited from coordinating its expenditures with the candidate committee. A review of independent expenditure statement filings showed that the Bridgeport Generation Now group spent thousands of dollars on political advertisements, social media, text message campaigns, along with canvassers and poll stand workers in support of Gomes. Based on its investigation, Commission can determine that pursuant to General Statutes 9-601D, the group properly filed independent expenditure statements, SEEK Form 26. The investigation determines that the group was a valid incidental spender as it relates to Gomes's mayoral candidacy during this time frame, because they filed the independent expenditure statements showing the expenditures supporting candidate Gomes. The investigation finds that it is not disputed that the respondents attended at least one campaign fundraiser for Gomes, that respondent Heilman donated $1,000 to Gomes, and that respondent Davis made a statement in support of personally donating to Gomes. Further, it is admitted that there was a February 12th daytime meeting between respondent Davis and candidate Gomes in his car. Commission finds, however, that there is no evidence of, nor does the complaint detail, that the two discussed campaign strategy or the coordination of expenditures. So it's determined that the respondents were aware of the expenditure laws of the state of Connecticut, and that the group had policies and procedures in place that were adhered to, that were aimed at reducing the occurrence of unlawful coordination of expenditures pursuant to 9-601C. Commission concludes that there is insufficient evidence to support a violation of 9-601C. Attending a fundraiser or having a meeting with a political candidate does not establish an improper coordinated expenditure. There's no evidence of shared strategy or coordinated expenditures. Respondents' personal donative intent to contribute or actual contribution of funds to a political candidate, which is protected by the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, subject to applicable campaign finance laws in Connecticut, without more is insufficient evidence of coordination. So based on the foregoing, Attorney Ross would ask that the Commission entertain a motion to adopt his findings and conclusions and dismiss this matter.
All right, any questions or comments for council? So the only thing I would point out is there's a typo in paragraph 10. There's a number represented there that has an extra digit in it. So would you just make that correction once you get to close your file?
Sure.
Okay, great, thanks. All right, is there a motion to accept the recommendation of council in this matter, endorse his findings and conclusions, and dismiss the complaint in the matter?
So moved, Commissioner Jello.
Second, Commissioner Sari.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing, those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing, the motion carries with 5 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. Next item on the agenda is audit reports. Director Manier.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Salman Munir, Director of Audit and Disclosure. Here I have total 8 draft reports. 4 are from 2022 post-elections and 4 from 2024 post-election audits. So item number 1, Mark for CT. Item number 2, C. Green for Senate. Item number 3, Marianne Hansen for State Representative. Item number 4, Carrie Lentz 2022. Item number 5, Carpino 2024. Item number 6, Doug for CT. Item number 7, Kelly for Senate. And item number 8, Donna Veach for State Rep. I'm requesting the Commission to make these reports final.
All right, any questions or comments for council? All right, I had some trouble with item number 2, Sea Green for Senate. I'm trying to find the spot in there. Yeah, okay, so page 56, at least as it's been transmitted to us, you have a long list of expenditures that were made. And your response is not provided and not reported in SEEK 30. And the committee, when it responded, only addressed one of those. It happened to be the smallest number. And nothing irritates me more than unresponsive committees. So can you tell me why I should nonetheless be comfortable with the recommendation to
Sure.
accept the account?
So you are referring to finding number 1,
Now, finding B, invoices.
finding.
Finding capital B, invoices.
It's pages 6 on to 7 of that particular report.
Sure. So these are for they made payments for the field staff for door knocking, and they gave us the list of these people, their names, and how much they get paid. They supposed to be reporting these itemize these names in their SIG 30, but right now they just gave us the total detail of these people and how much they get paid individually. So we accept that as long as we have the documents and the information in hand.
But if you'll notice, you say committee response, committee provided the missing invoice for the payment of $1,193.25, which was the last of the list. Does that mean
because
that,
the rest of the invoices we had,
all right.
that particular one was missing. So we asked for provide us that missing information, missing invoice. So they gave us that missing invoice for this particular payment, plus the rest of those field staff names.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments for Director Manier? All right, at this time, then the chair will entertain a motion to make final the accounts that he recited: Mark for CT, C. Green for Senate, Mary Ann Hanson for State Representative, Carrie Lenz 2022, Carpino 2024, Doug for CT, Kelly for Senate, and Donna Veach for State Rep. Is it moved?
So moved, Commissioner Jello.
Second, Commissioner Sari.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing, those in favor of the motion will raise their hands or say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing, the motion carries with 5 voting in favor and none opposed, no abstentions. All right, Roman numeral 6 on the agenda. And we need to go into executive session. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved, Commissioner Jello.
Second, Commissioner Sari.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing, those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing, we'll go into executive session.
Andrea Nazeda conducting the BBC Philharmonic at the Bridgewater Hall in Manchester a week ago on Friday, and Beethoven's Eroica Symphony.
in an executive session that just concluded. So we're going to go to item number 1 on the Roman numeral 6 portion of the agenda. The necessary to investigate determinations. Attorney Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Attorney William Smith for the commission. At this time, I'm going to ask that the commission, pursuant to statutes, find it necessary to further investigate the following matters that have been docketed by staff. File number 2025-009, 2025-010, and 2025-011.
All right, pursuant to the recommendation of council, is there a motion to proceed to investigate matters 2025-09, 010, and 011?
So moved, Commissioner Jello.
Second, Commissioner Sorry.
All right, any discussion? None appearing, those in favor of the motion to make necessary to investigate determinations will raise their hands and or say aye.
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 Any opposed, any abstentions? None appearing, the motion carries with 5 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. Item 2 on the agenda, file number 2024-132 is continued. Item 3 on the agenda, file number 2019-023, Attorney Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Attorney William Smith. At this time, you have a findings and conclusions before you with regard to a matter of a referral by the Secretary of State. This referral was based on evidence of substantial administrative errors in the town of Stratford in the 120th district at the November 6, 2018 election. Those errors being with regard to distributing the wrong ballots, where a single polling place was used for district voting for 2 different districts. Prior to the referral of this matter, the candidates involved through a special House committee with the Connecticut legislature had this matter investigated, and the legislature did issue a report into the public record regarding these substantial errors in the administration of this election for the 120th House District. Nevertheless, the legislature and its report did not recommend a new election. Further, it dismissed the complaint that was filed with that body. At this time, the commission therefore would decline to further exercise its authority regarding any errors or failures by Stratford election officials regarding this 2018 election, and then, and therefore will dismiss this matter by findings and conclusions.
Any questions or comments for council? None appearing. With respect to file number 2019-023, it is the recommendation of council based on his findings and conclusions that the complaint in the matter be dismissed. Is it moved?
So moved, Commissioner Jello.
Second, Commissioner Sorry.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing. Those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing. The motion carries with 5 voting in favor and none opposed, no abstentions. Next item on the agenda is number 4, file number 2023-009. It is continued. Item 5 on the agenda, file number 2024-028 is continued. Number 6 on the agenda, file number 2023-020 is continued. Item 7 on the agenda, file number 2024-156, Attorney Jaslowicki.
Thank you, Chairman. It's a recommendation that this matter be referred to the Chief State's Attorney, file number 2024-156. Investigation revealed that the respondent, who was inactive on the voting registry list in Middlefield, re-registered and voted during early voting on October 22nd, 2024 in Middlefield. He did this by presenting his ID, which listed a former address in Middlefield. Investigation later revealed that the respondent had not resided at that Middlefield address for approximately 4 years. Respondent stated that he has been between residences and presently has been living in a motel on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin, Connecticut. Thus, while not residing in Middlefield, respondent registered and voted in Middlefield, potentially violating General Statutes 9-357 and 9-360. It is the recommendation of Attorney Ross that the Commission consider and approve the following motion on the record. Pursuant to its authority under General Statute 9-7BA8, the Commission authorizes Council to refer this matter for consultation to the Office of Chief State's Attorney and forward any evidence of possible criminal violations related to potential election law violations discovered in the course of the Commission's investigation into the matter docketed as 2024-156.
All right, are there any questions or comments for council? None appearing. With respect to file number 2024-156, it is the recommendation of council that the commission adopt a motion that would refer the matter to the Chief State's Attorney's Office. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved, Commissioner Jello.
Second, Commissioner Sari.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing. Those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing. The motion carries with 5 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. Item 8 on the agenda and number 9 are being taken care of together. File number 2024-121 in the first instance, file number 2024-154 in the second. Attorney Jaslowicki.
Is that being continued, Mr. Chairman?
Oh, I had it down as a dismissal, no?
The next one's dismissal.
No, yeah, 8 and 9 is was a recommendation of council, not a findings and conclusion.
Okay. So are we prepared to go forward with a henceforth order, civil penalty, or was that just a recommendation that needs to be?
That was just a recommendation.
All right. All right. So this matter will be continued.
Thank you.
Without objection. All right. Item 10 on the agenda is file number 2024-042. Attorney Jaslowicki.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Zach Jaslowicki for the commission. This is in the matter of a complaint by Ben Proto, Middletown, file number 2024-042. Amanda Veneziano ran as the nominee of the Democratic Party in the November 5th, 2024 election for the 55th General Assembly seat for state rep. The complainant alleges that the April 10th Form 30 filing of the respondents, which include Veneziano, the candidate, Awit Sagai, candidate committee treasurer, and Sandra Pirogue, candidate committee deputy treasurer. Complaint alleges that this filing contains 4 qualifying contributions that list erroneous in-district residential addresses for the contributors. The contribution cards for 3 of these related contributors listed a residential in-district address in Glastonbury, Connecticut, which according to CVRS is the same residential address of the respondent's mother-in-law. The investigation revealed, however, that these contributors at all relevant times resided at an address in Groton, which is out of district. Candidate offered a written response to SEEK staff regarding the address discrepancy, stating that those contributors are in the process of finishing their lease and moving in with my mother-in-law who resides in Glastonbury. At the time of the election, they will be Glastonbury residents. However, CVRS indicates that they were not and that they voted in Groton in the November election. A 4th contribution, this is from Rachel Stern, a family friend, also listed a false in-district residential address, listing the same address as respondent Veneziano. Respondent's explanation was that Ms. Stern spends much of the week at the candidate's home raising their kids together. CVRS, again, however, indicates that she still resides in Groton and voted there in the November election. So of import is the timing of everything. So based on the complaint, but prior to applying to the Citizens Election Program, respondent Veneziano went through a validation with commission staff to address any potential disqualifying issues that would impact the candidate's ability to participate in the program. On June 30th, 2024, as a result of this validation process, the 4 contributions that were subject of the instant complaint were returned via check to the 4 contributors. Then on July 16th, 2024, the committee filed to participate in the CEP, thereby agreeing to abide by all the rules associated with such. Based upon the evidence, the Commission determines that Respondent Veneziano solicited the 4 subject certification cards and corresponding contributions, and in an attempt to reach the required number of in-district contributions to qualify for a CEP grant, knew or should have known they contained false in-district residential addresses. The Commission notes, however, that through the validation process prior to becoming a CEP participant, the committee refunded the problematic contributions with the false addresses. Once the respondent became a participating candidate of the CEP, there's no evidence of any violation of Title IX, Chapter 157. Similarly, while the Commission could find the actions of the candidate Veneziano to be egregious, it is without the legal authority for the finding of any specific violation of any campaign finance law based upon the nature and the timing of the contributions. The allegations therefore fail as a matter of law. As to the treasurer and deputy treasurer respondents, the Commission determines they were not involved in the solicitation of these 4 contributions. They are unaware of any familial relationships between the candidate and the contributors, and that they reasonably relied on the contribution certifications in their report and filings pursuant to General Statutes 9-608C3. Based on the foregoing, under the narrow and specific facts set forth, we'd ask the Commission to entertain a motion to dismiss this matter.
All right, are there any questions or comments for council? None appearing. With respect to file number 2024-042, it is the recommendation of council based on his findings and conclusions in this matter that the complaint should be dismissed. Is it moved?
So moved, Commissioner Jello.
Second, Commissioner Sari.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? None appearing. Those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing. The motion carries with 5 voting in favor, none opposed, no abstentions. All right, so at this point, we're going to move to Roman numeral 8 on the agenda, which is an executive session concerning the employment or performance of an employee. And we will stay in executive session to deal with Roman numeral 4, discussion of personnel matters regarding the hiring of a permanent executive director and general counsel. For the second executive session, the interim director and counsel will step out. So is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved, Commissioner Jello.
Second, Commissioner Sari.
Moved and seconded. Those in favor of the motion will raise their hands and or say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? None appearing.
Aye.
We'll go into executive session. Renata, let me know when we've cleared the decks.